I have come today, oh, I've come again, and I've come to shame the shameless. They say Nigerian youths are lazy. I've come with reasons why a lot of Nigerian youths are lazy and unmotivated. Number one reason why Nigerian youths are lazy and unmotivated is because of Yahoo boys and politicians. You know why I'm mentioning these two people? Yahoo boys and politicians. I feel like they are doing the same thing. They are doing the same kind of hustle. They lie. They steal. And they are very cunning and manipulative. Most politicians are. And if you look at the lives of Yahoo boys, they are liars. They are thieves. And they are very cunning. Sweet talk. They can sweet talk you into, sending. Because I wonder why a black man, they'll tell you that a Igbo man is very smart. He's very, I don't know, but how does a black man, a Nigerian small boy in one corner, manipulate an older woman or man to send them money and they will? I would say politicians and Yahoo boys have a lot in common. Most politicians take our money, our taxpayers' money, our money that was supposed to be used. When I say our money, it is our money because it's our money as Nigerians, because you are expected to pay tax, and the tax you are paying should be accounted for, right? Even there's something called, I didn't even know about this, there's something called tax refund, whereby as an individual you are paying tax, and at the end of the year the government calculates the amount of tax that you have paid. They will refund that money to you, and then you still pay tax again on the money that they have refunded. For example, at the end of every year, you've been paying tax and you paid, let's say, over 4 million naira tax. At the end of the year, that government, the government will use that money to trade, to do other things, and at the end of the year, the government will return, let's say 4.5 to you, and then on top of that money you pay tax. It continues like that. So the tax you pay to the government, as we as the citizens of Nigeria, why can't the government do that for us? Paying tax, I don't have a problem with paying tax too. But so as long as I get what I am paying for, as long as I see value for what I am paying for, or as long as I pay this money, and at the end of the year the government sees that, I am committed to paying this thing, and they decide it should be like a loan, and they decide to refund the money back to me, because that is what tax refund is. I was doing the research about it, and I'm like, what? So no wonder all these other countries are progressing now, while we are here stuck. And then you pay tax, and some people will sit down in their office and feel like the tax you are paying is for them, it's for their own pocket. But what I was trying to say is that the government, our own government, right? Our own politicians, not governments, politicians. Politicians are different from governments. Or are they the same thing? Politicians are governments. Are they the same thing? For this context, let me use politicians, because I believe it's not everybody in the government that is corrupt. But 90% of politicians are corrupt. So what I was trying to say is that politicians take our money and they invest it in foreign businesses, foreign banks. They buy houses abroad, all their kids school abroad, everything they do abroad. They are sick abroad. And who is paying? You, Nigerian, as a common man. You are paying for all those things. Whether you know it or not, you are paying. You are the one paying for it. Yahoo boys, on the other hand, maybe most of them, they feel like, because of what happened to us or to our forefathers, let's take back from these people what they stole from us. And instead of spending the money abroad, because they know that it's dangerous. It's dangerous to flaunt wealth abroad. The smart ones will know that it's dangerous. I think that was why Hush Puppy was arrested, because he wasn't smart about it. So the smart ones will be like, instead of staying abroad or instead of living abroad or instead of spending my money abroad, let me come and invest in my own country. Let me come and invest the money that I've stolen, that I've defrauded other people of in my country. And when I'm talking about Yahoo boys, I'm not talking about those Yahoo boys on the street wearing saggy jeans and dirty boxers, showing you their boxers and going to the club to go and pop champagne. Those are not the kind of Yahoo boys I'm talking about. So, our number one problem is Yahoo boys and politicians, because for the common man, for someone like me that I'm not a Yahoo boy or I'm a politician, or for someone like my friends who are guys, okay, let me say I'm a woman, I'm not supposed to even be behaving like a man. For someone like my friends who are male, who are not into fraud, who don't want to be a politician, where would they get the money to flaunt from? Where are they going to get the money to buy the expensive things that the pressure, the society, there's pressure in this country. Everybody wants to just make it fast. Everybody just wants to, ball. So people start to think like, if me, that I'm working this hard, cannot afford basic things like rent, a car, good health care, and then you see somebody that is not even working hard at all, enjoying life and, spending the money that they have not worked for. And when I'm referring to Yahoo boys and politicians, I'm also referring to their children, their family members, their wives, their husbands. People who are associated to them, they're also the problem, because if you are not working and you are being funded, your lifestyle is being funded. You tell us how, because you tell us how. Number two reasons why Nigerian youths are lazy. And this problem is also affecting a lot of Nigerians, which is funding, access to capital, access to loans, access to any kind of loan at all. I'm not talking about student loan. I'm talking about business loan, household loans, gadget loans, any kind of loan. You say that you cannot get loan, but the interest on this loan is what the problem is. Because you cannot tell me that if I want to save my money with the bank, they'll be telling me save and earn let's say 2% interest. But why? Whenever you collect loan, you'll be hearing your interest rate is 15%, 10%. Why? Why can't it just be just? Why can't it be the same thing? So if I'm collecting loan or giving the bank money, the difference, the interest rate should not be too much. If people, I mean Nigerians, because I know that Nigerians are very creative, Nigerians are hardworking, because as Nigerians, we are used to being in harsh conditions, right? So that's why Nigerians excel whenever they travel abroad, because when you have the platform as a Nigerian, you want to deliver, because when you have a good platform as a Nigerian, you want to deliver because you want to prove yourself, because you know that where you are is better than where you are coming from, and you will not even want to fuck up and go back to your country. Ending, what every Nigerian needs right now is low interest loans, very low interest loans, with low interest loans that people can take and afford to pay back easily. It's not the one that you collect loan. You collect, let's say you want to collect like 200,000. At the end of the day, they are telling you you pay back 250,000 or 300,000. That is too much. That is absolutely too much. If I'm taking a loan of 200,000, the interest rate should not be more than 15,000 or 10,000. Even 10,000 is even too much. The interest rate as for in Nigeria for a citizen should not be more than 2,000 on it every month, so that people can survive, so that the country can progress. People can survive. You put money in the bank for 1 year, and then you come back and you'll be seeing peanuts. But collect that same amount of money from the bank for the 1 year and see how much you'll be paying back. That's too much. The government should see how they can help people Give people low interest loans. Let people be able to fund their businesses and live a more, conducive and comfortable life. Another issue that someone might have is when going to the bank to go and collect loan, they'll tell you to bring collateral. As a startup, where are you going to get collateral from if you are not from a rich family? Where are you going to get it from now? This country can do better if the government decides to start working with the central bank to see how they can give out easy loans. Easy loans with low interest. That is my point. Low interest. To businesses, to business owners or entrepreneurs, to SMEs, startups. Give people loans and figure out a way to get your money. If Americans can do it, if China can do it, why not? Why not us? Why not us? Are we not tired of suffering? We're tired. Me, I'm tired. Somebody was asking me recently that before I did not want to leave this country, but honestly now, as it is, if I see any opportunity, I'm running away. I'm leaving. Because tell me why I will be in this country. Being in this country is like going in circle. You're just going in circle. You're not seeing any progress. Okay, they will say, even in the abroad, it is not easy too. Yes, it is not easy in the abroad. But in the abroad, when you work, you will see value for your money. When you work, when you pay for things, you will see the value for whatever you are paying for. When you're on the street, you are not scared of somebody coming to attack you or killing you. Insurgency, except maybe you naturally have a problem with other people. But the one thing is, when you put in the efforts, you see results. But in Nigeria, you put in efforts, you will not see results. May God help us. The third reason why Nigerian youth are lazy and why it is affecting a lot of people in Nigeria is tribalism. This question, where are you from? Sounds simple until you want to get a contract. Where are you from? Sounds simple until you want to get a job. Where are you from? Sounds simple until you are sick and wants to get treatment. Where are you from? Sounds simple until you need help. Tribalism has limited a lot of people from doing a lot of things in this country. Where are you from? John, the first thing that's affecting a lot of Nigerian youths, that's making Nigerian youths be lazy and other Nigerians is religion. Religion and poverty, they work hand in hand. Don't mind all these prosperity preachers who tell you God is this, God is that one, God is... See, and when I'm talking about religion, I'm talking about Christian, Muslim, or traditionalists. I'm talking about all of them, any kind of religion at all. Is the major reason why we're in these states. Because imagine, if you ask me, I'll tell you that all religion are the same. And all religion, actually, they want the same thing, but in a different form. And all religions, right, are trying to get to the same God. But what all these religions are failing to tell you is that the God you are seeking, the help you are seeking, the divine authority, the Jesus you are seeking, the Muhammad you are seeking, they are inside of you. Our biggest problem right now is religion. Nigerians don't have money, yet you'll be seeing big churches, big mosques being built. To worship who? To To worship who? To do what? If all these churches that we have, if all these churches and these mosques that we have were converted to industries, factories that people can work, we would have been solving a lot of unemployment problems in Nigeria. But instead, they were building the churches and the mosques for you to come and pray for a job. Is it prayer that will get you the job? Religion and poverty, they go hand in hand. Because religion, I believe religion conditions your mind conditions you to have a limited mindset. I'm not talking about spirituality. When I'm talking about spirituality and religion, they're two different things, right? So spirituality is you having an encounter with God and knowing God for yourself, while religion is you being in a certain group. So why religion is you having an encounter with God based on what someone told you, right, that they have experienced with God, or based on what someone told you about God. So spirituality is you having an encounter with God, knowing God for yourself, while religion is you worshiping God with a group of people, or having someone share their experiences about God with you. I believe I've made a video differentiating what religion and spirituality are, the differences. So I'll leave a link in the description for you to watch it and understand better. But religion has actually brought more problems to us as Nigerians than solutions, right? Because even the white man, when the white man was coming, when he discovered that these people, they are not as dumb as we thought to deceive the black man. So he looked at the black man and said, these people, they have strength, they have what we want. They know that they cannot easily persuade the black man, to follow them. So they used a weapon. So they figured out how to use a weapon that will completely, so they figured out how to use a weapon that will completely make the black man confused. For me, I feel like religion and confusion and poverty are the same thing, because when the white man was bringing religion to us, they did not bring religion to us with, religion was not free. When the white man was bringing religion to us, he did not bring it for free of charge. They brought it as a means. They brought it to us as a means to manipulate us, because they figured that the only way to deceive these people is through what they cherish. And because they did not really understand, because the black man did not really understand how the universe works or how the universe functions, Africans were engaged in diabolical rituals, which involves killing other people. So when they saw something, when they saw a religion that did not require them, killing or sacrificing anything to get something, they thought it was the best. But at the end of the day, this religion still requires you killing. I feel like yes, because Christianity was brought to us by Israel, right? No, by the Europeans. And it is not our religion. It is not an African thing. Even in Israel, where Christianity is supposed to skyrocket, or Christianity is supposed to be accepted, the people in Israel are not even Christians. And the people in Israel are not Christians. And for as long as I have known Israel, Israel has always been at war. But the God of the Bible says we should be at peace with one another. But Islam believes another thing entirely. Islam believes in a just killing. So as long as when you kill someone and that person is not a Muslim, you've been vindicated. You did a good thing. And Islam also conditions you that if you are poor, you are supposed to die poor. As a poor man now, your job on this earth is to come and be praying for a rich man to have money, so that the rich man can be dashing you money. That is why you see all those beggars. You have a lot of beggars on the streets begging, because they've already been programmed to believe that it is in their nature that they came to this life to beg. That they came to this life to become a beggar. Why the traditional religion believes in, killing people, sacrificing people for your own selfish interest. Tell me, how is harming another person making you prosperous or rich? If you look at the truly worldly people, do they kill people? Even if they have to even kill people, they kill people as a game. They don't kill people for ritual, because they know that ritual does not work. Money ritual does not work. They know that money is they know that money is energy. And you make money based on the value, right, that you provide. It is only a dumb person. I feel like it is only a dumb person that they will tell you go and kill somebody, and then to become rich, that you believe it and still go and kill the person to become. The person even advising you to go and kill somebody to become rich. Have you looked at the person's life? How many people have the person killed, and has the person become rich by killing? Killing does not make you rich. You see, the truth is, killing somebody does not make you rich, right? What makes you rich is the belief of that thing that you have done, which is, I believe like faith, which is faith. Like faith is the foundation that holds all these religions together. Because without faith, even the Bible also says that without faith it is impossible to please God. Without faith, it is impossible to have anything that you want. Without faith, you can never attract anything, because faith is believing. Faith is believing in the things that you have not seen, as if they have already been done or fulfilled. So that is what faith is. So that's why sometimes when people go and sacrifice people, or when people go and do things, it is not the things that you did that are working for you. It is the faith that you have that thing that you have done has worked. That is why when you go and harm somebody, or when you go and kill somebody, or when you go and do something to another person for your own benefit, it is not that thing that worked though. So you go to church and you go to mosque and they tell you keep praying, pray very well. Nigeria will be better. Nigeria will change. Pray. Let's pray for this country. Let's pray. It is your duty to pray for Nigeria. Prayer doesn't work if you don't take action. If you do not act. Even the Westerners, in America, right? Martin Luther King, the people that delivered the black people from, slavery. No, he didn't deliver them from slavery, but segregation. He delivered them from segregation, which is, the black doing their own thing and the whites doing their own thing. He was a pastor. He was a son of a pastor. He knows how to pray more than every other person, but he realized his father has been praying, and he saw his father praying for Americans, for the slaves in America to be free. But he knew that only prayer could not do it. They had to march. Like a civil rights movement, right? They had to protest. They had to make sure, like, the laws that were in place favors them. They had to, lawyers, people who were lawyers, like people who could help financially were helping. People who could help with their power, with strength, they were helping. People who could speak to the people in charge, who could, actually create change, were going into those rooms, and really creating the change. They were not in one church praying, no. They were not sitting in one or under one mosque praying for change to come. It will never come if you don't take action. What next? I'm just saying my own, because when you finish praying, what next? They'll tell you to come and give offering. In fact, sometimes you even have to kneel down and still pay offering. And then you see that the churches are getting richer. You see the pastors in the church, the imam, the priests living a good life, while the majority of Nigerians are, poor. Even the church members too. Okay, recently something happened on social media. I'll look for that thing and tag it here, because it just exposed how gullible a lot of Nigerians are. This girl came on TikTok. She came up on TikTok and she was crying. She was saying the church that her parents were redeemed members, that her parents have been serving redeem, and every month when they pay her parents' salary, their parents will slash money and they always leave out, keep money for tithe, and they were always like, they were devoted tithe payers in the Redeemed Church. But when things started going sour for her family, that nobody turned up for them. Even her parents, like both of her parents died, or maybe one of her parents died, that nobody showed up, that it was only them, that this is what Redeem has done to them. Then I commented, what else do I want to say? Because I don't know how to sugarcoat words to make someone happy. Then I commented, I was like, okay, because I felt her pain though. And then I commented, I was like, the church is not a place that you go and save money and expect a return. If you see the insults that I received, tell me what is wrong with that comment. If you wanted a refund for your money, your parents should have been smart enough to put their money in the bank. It is a bank that rewards. The money you give to God is not for it's not a money that you come and say, okay, I want to come back and collect it, or I need your help for this. Whenever you are doing something for God, you do it for God and remove your mind. Working for God or doing anything for God is like volunteering. It's like doing charity work. You know that the money that you are taking out can never be, you cannot get it back. They were not quoting Bible scripture. People that have never sat down to read their Bible were not quoting Bible scripture for me. What is Zion? What does the Bible say about Zion? What does the Bible say about paying tithe? What does the Bible do? I will do another video about tithe and offering. Because let me just focus on why Nigerian youth, they say Nigerian youth are lazy. In fact, me too. I'm a Nigerian youth. I've decided to become lazy because I feel like I have worked so hard and I have not seen any results. So it's either I leave this country or I become a lazy Nigerian youth. But these are the reasons. If you ever see me being lazy, these are the reasons why I am lazy. And these are the reasons why a lot of people have given up in Nigeria and have given up on this country, Nigeria. And a lot of people are not even concerned. These are the reasons why a lot of people have started relocating and moving out of this country. All these mosques that they are just building, maybe work on one street you can see like 10 churches or 5 or 4 on one street. Sometimes in a building you see like 3 churches. Why? Even businesses don't compete like that with the way churches are competing with themselves these days. So it just means that business is going good. If business was not going good, why would there be a lot of churches when people are struggling, people are looking for jobs? There are no jobs, but yet people are still building big churches. What are they using it for? Who is going to go to these churches and go and worship? Well, are people going to come to church and worship with a hungry stomach? What if all those churches and mosques were converted and turned into, factories so that people can get jobs? Instead of opening churches and waiting for people to come and give you money, come and donate. Very part with the donations that people make to churches and mosques is that at the end of the day, those donations, let's say they finally use it to establish something that the public will benefit from. It's not always free. It won't be free at the end of the day. Even the Westerners, right? The Igbo people that brought religion to us. Religion came as a cost. It was not free. Because they gave you the Bible. They were taking slaves. They were taking raw materials. They were taking your women. They were killing people in the name of forgive and know that the Lord fights your battle. The Lord does not fight for who will not fight for himself. Even heaven, they help those who help themselves. So the fifth thing that makes a lot of Nigerian youth to be lazy is distraction and drugs. They go hand in hand. Because let's say there's an important issue coming up, and before you know it, something will just come up, like maybe something is a social media trend, or maybe a viral video, maybe Big Brother Nigeria will just come up when there are important things to be discussed that we're supposed to be discussing or pursuing. Instead of facing the major cause, looking for the major cause of our problem, we'll start focusing on those distractions. Distractions like Big Brother Nigeria is a big distraction. Social media, big distraction, because all these things are making you not to focus on the real problem. The sixth problem that is affecting a lot of youth and a lot of people in Nigeria is unskilled youth. Unskilled youth. A lot of Nigerians are not equipped with the relevant skills that they need. So instead of, in your 20s, people are supposed to be building their skills, but because of the situation in Nigeria, everybody thinks about making money instead of focusing on the relevant skills that will enable you make money. You are thinking about making money before building the skills. And at the end of the day, if you're focusing on making money, you might end up making the money, but once that money finishes, you might not be able to sustain the lifestyle that you have had. And I believe it has a lot to do with background, family background. At the age of 16, 17, 15, 16, parents are already pressurizing their children to go and start looking for money to come and support them. Some parents will even go to as far as supporting their children to do fraud, join kidnapping, or doing all those sort of things that are irrelevant. For females, some parents will push their female daughters to go and be doing prostitution so that they can come and support. But all these things also boils down to everything I've discussed about. Really, what has actually killed a lot of Nigerians. That's why sometimes when I go somewhere, they'll just tell me you are different. You talk differently. You don't look like you are from here. That in this our generation, that what a lot of people are always thinking, a lot of like young ladies are always thinking about is hookup. Doing hookup, sleeping with men for money. But the thing is, the question is, how long would hookup sustain you? Well, it is not in my duty to come and start questioning anybody or judging anybody, because I know how hard it is to be a Nigerian, and I know how hard it is, to make it as a Nigerian without support. So now that we've figured out the problem, in my next video we'll talk about the solutions, how to fix this problem. I might not be in a position to fix anything or to resolve any conflict or to, make a difference, right? But my hope is that this video, whatever content I'm pushing out, gets to the right person who will truly understand me and understand what I'm trying to pass out or share. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.